Ron Granger is a farmer. Here on his Worcestershire farm he has nearly 700 acres. Not by today's standards a particularly large spread, but enough to keep him and his hands very busy, because Ron grows, trains and fattens beauty queens. Well, they're not difficult to keep, providing you feed them regular. They're quite friendly, they all answer their names, but a dog's more fun. Ron feeds them hay and copies of Vogue, but at this time of year things are pretty quiet, apart from the regular visit of the vet. I've got about 50 head of beauty queen, plus a few hostesses. The hostesses are beauty queens who haven't quite made the grade, but are kept for breeding. At the end of a glorious summer day, what could be a more peaceful sight than a prime herd of beauty queens returning from the fields? But though they're locked away for the night, Ron's work is far from finished. Of course, you've got to watch out for poachers this time of year, you see. I had 3 of my girls stolen last year. 2 of them ended up in Penthouse, and 1 of them ended up in the Playboy Club. They just don't know any better, you see. It's not just poachers. 2 years ago, feminist demonstrators broke in with Foot and Mouth, a radical feminist magazine, and contaminated all the girls. It was heartbreaking. I had to shoot them all myself. Do you know, I cried. But it's market days that are the busiest for Ron Granger, who is incidentally no relation of the plucky tunesmith. He's up at dawn to load the girls and drive them the 40 miles to the nearest market. You'd swear some of them knew where they were going. But these are the harsh realities of modern economics. Trained and fattened to the peak of perfection, they're now ready to be shown at the market. Here they'll be given a chance in the ring before the experienced eyes of Midland butchers and a cutout of Oliver Reed. Most of these girls will end up on your household tables over the next few weeks. Oh, Diana, my champion Jersey girl, she's just gone for 250 guineas. Still, she's going to a good butcher. But are these cattle markets just beauty contests?
No, 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 no. Far from it. It's not just the way they look, you know. There's also the taste. That's the most important.
Well, let's just have a look at the next contestant. Do you think you're being exploited? Chance would be a fine thing. I should be so lucky. I'll find the lucky guy. Great, just great.
Ladies and gentlemen, while the judges are selecting their final 6, here to entertain you is the golden larynx of P.B. Sutton.
Yes, another victim of the Yorkshire showbiz butchers. These high-class butchers are amongst the most feared butchers in show business, providing prime cuts of home-killed British entertainers for the domestic market. Alan Plato is the man who brought terror to the Cliff Richard show and was the first to exploit the nutritive value of the younger generation.
I specialise in prime cuts of singers and dancers. These spare ribs, for example, were once on the Rolf Harris show.
Some best end of Desert Collar, please.
I'm sorry, love, we're right out. I can offer you a nice piece of Frankie Vaughan.
Well, there'll be another chance to see the Yorkshire Showbiz Butchers tomorrow night, when they'll be showing you how to prepare and cook Nicholas Parsons. Meanwhile, on Rutland Weekend, it's time for A Penny For Your Warts.
Hello and welcome to A Penny For Your Warts, a TV quiz game for doctors. And this week's team are some urinologists from Bristol who face a team of consultant gynecologists from Somerset for a chance to go on and meet the Danish dentists in the semi-final of this year's Stonehouse Trophy. The Bristol urinologists are led by Dr. Max Schulman.
Good evening.
Good evening, Doctor. I keep getting these pains in the small of my back when I'm gardening. What do you think it is? Well, they've got 15 seconds to tell me what they think it is.
We think it could be backache.
Yes, and your prescription?
Cut out gardening.
Yes, jolly good, 15 points. Well, now it's time for our mystery corpse, so will you wheel him in, please, Boris? Well, there he is. You've had a quick chance to examine him. Now what we want you to do is tell us what you think his profession was. Yes, Bristol.
We think he was a comedian.
What makes you think that?
Well, we recognised his face.
Jolly good. Well, now Somerset are losing 30-0, and here's a chance for them to catch something in our disease spot. We have a patient who's going to breathe on the doctor, and what we want him to tell us is if it's infectious.
Oh, yes, very infectious.
Good, that's 15 points, Somerset. And let's see if you can draw level in the next ward round. On the table in front of you, you will find a volunteer from the audience. He's been anaesthetised, he's been opened up, and you have 30 seconds to complete the operation. Yes, time's up. Let's see how far you've got. Oh, what a pity, Somerset. We only wanted you to cut off his bandages. Still, perhaps they'll stitch back on. And if you could pop some of those bits back in there before you go, I'm sure his next of kin would be very grateful. Well, now, Bristol, a chance for you again. On the table in front of you, you will find the x-rays of some organs of a famous politician. What we want you to do is spot the ex-minister. Do you recognise these famous organs? Yes, Dr. Crippen.
Is it Mrs. Thatcher?
No, I'm sorry, you're quite close. It is, in fact, Anthony Barber.
Oh, yes.
Well, that leaves a final chance for you, Somerset, and this round is called consultancy fees. Take a look at this medical record card and tell us how much money you think you could have extracted from this patient before his decease. Yes, a very quick challenge.
300 guineas.
It's spot on. Can we ask you how you got there?
I'm his doctor.
Well, jolly good, but whilst you may have won the 300 guineas, you haven't won the competition, I'm afraid, because it's been Bristol's game, so the urinologists can wash their hands of this round. And won't you join us next week when they scrub up against the Wizards of Oto-Rhino-Laryngology from Doncaster, who will no doubt be bringing their extremely noisy team of supporters and their drugs. Well, from all of us in the theatre today, oh, except one, it's goodbye and good diagnosis, everyone.